Jordan Smith here, another homeowner tip of the month, and today we're going to talk about descaling a instantaneous hot water heater. So this is the Navion model, but Noritz is also popular, and we're going to be using the Flowaid solution here. We went to our local plumbing store, and this is a handy little chart that they give you that you can put on your unit so that you can keep track of this. They recommend doing this descaling every 12 months to year and a half. So here's the Flowaid solution that we picked up. A lot of people online will also recommend you can do a couple gallons of vinegar. And just to go over some of the things that you'll need here, we have channel locks, we have needle nose pliers that are useful for pulling out the filter. You'll definitely need a little pump. You don't need to buy too crazy of a pump. This is like $60–70 pump. We got two sets of washer hoses. The 5-gallon bucket's nice, and after doing this, probably what we're going to do is just get a lid, and we're going to store our kit basically in this bucket to keep it all together. It came with this little box, but you really need to, if you're using a Flowaid solution, you have to mix this. You basically do 1 quart to a gallon of water. So going through the steps, got my dad here helping me. First step first, you want to shut off your gas, and the reason being is you don't want your unit to start up on you when you're doing this. So in looking through these knobs, first thing first, if you're looking at a unit and you do not have these 2 valves, you definitely need to call your plumber, and it's amazing how many of these are installed without a plumber actually putting these in play here. So first thing first, you'll unscrew these.
Well, let's turn our water off.
Yeah, turn the water off over here.
So this is the cold side, the blue.
I'm gonna sneak over here so you can see cold side blue. So this is, we're basically gonna form a loop here with our pump and our system, so we have to close this off and create our own new loop. So
that's the supply. This is the hot water that comes out. That's the red one. Then we're going to open these 2. This is where our hoses are going to get connected to. So we'll have a little water will drain out of these 2.
That's just the water contained in the system.
Off?
Yeah, they say it's optional to turn off your unit. We turned it off when we did ours this time around.
So wherever it's getting plugged in, we won't do it this time, but unplug it. It's probably a good idea.
And you will want to keep a bucket or something handy, because any of the water that's left in the tank will drain right from here. This is kind of your leftover water. And the key thing here is on your pump. They didn't show it in other videos we watched, so you want to hook up to your pump just like that.
Submerge that thing in 2 to 3 inches of water. Hook this in. So this vinegar or descaling solution, if you could just buy 2, 3, 4 gallons of vinegar and run it through. We actually bought the stuff that they supply that's made for
the
descaling.
Flowaid.
So this will go in. We're going to open this up at this point so that can go through there. Actually, let's get the other one hooked up. So this is going to be the...
This is the second one.
This will be the side where it'll make the loop, and it'll come out of the hot side into our bucket and then just keep flowing through our descaling solution.
So to walk you through this, what's going to happen is we're going to plug this pump in. The pump is going to take the vinegar or the descale solution, pump it up through this hose into the bronze in here. And what happens is over time sediment builds up in this bronze, but when you first install it, it's all shiny, brand new. But the sediment builds up in here, and that scale solution is going to come through here, back down this side.
We're opening up the blue side now. We're going to turn the pump on. It's going to come through there. We're going to open up the... So it should be in line, not at a 90-degree angle, but in line with it. Now go ahead and plug in that
Go ahead and plug in our cord.
Our sump pump.
And this will start it up. So now we're plugged in. A couple other things that we didn't mention too is underneath here you actually have a couple filters. So you want to pop that little pin out of there on this Navion unit.
This is how you know if it's working. See this water coming out in the bottom? So that's coming out of the hot water side. And that's just gonna cycle. We're gonna leave those two cycling in here for about 90 minutes. Anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half should be good. Should we go ahead and unplug it now? Let's say it's done now.
Yeah, the last thing we want to talk about too is there's those two filters. So
we'll pull those out as soon as you unplug it.
That filter there, and then there's one other right there. So we're gonna go shut this off. Let's pretend we ran this for 60 to 90 minutes. Come over here, turn this off. Okay.
So now you can disconnect these.
We'll get a little bit of, you know, drainage from any of the water that's left over there.
Turn this off. And put that back on. So you don't want it coming out of here anymore. That just gets opened anytime you're gonna descale the.
And it is sometimes nice. We just did hand tight on these, but some of these were a little bit tough to come off, hence the channel locks and those needle noses to pull the filters.
So these have got real nice washers on them, so pretty much hand tight will keep these from leaking. Sometimes you can take a channel lock and tighten those a little tighter if you need to. So at this point, let's show you where the filter is. So,
and again, this is on a Navion unit. The Noritz is pretty similar to these. We're going to be descaling a Noritz tomorrow, and maybe we'll actually take another video of that Noritz just so we have it, because some of the videos online, they just don't get down in here and they show you the steps, so it's a little bit hard.
So that filter's pretty clean. It's a good idea to clean that filter out at the start before you start running the solution, and then when you get done, clean it again. You can just run it in the water in your bucket or run it through some warm water in your kitchen sink at any point.
Place that back in there.
Screw that back on, and then we noticed one other filter that a lot of people don't show in their videos, and there's a little retaining pin. If you pull this out, there was a whole bunch of really hard, gritty deposit in this. We cleaned that out earlier. So just see if there's this secondary thing that needs to be cleaned out. That was dirtier there than the filter itself. I think as long as you got a good water softener, these aren't that bad. So, okay, so we've shut these down where the hot and cold were coming out to clean it. Now we're gonna turn the water supply back on. I guess it's better to open up the hot side first, cold side second. So these should be in line, not perpendicular at 90 degree to the pipe, but straight in line with the pipe.
And you'll notice that these are shut off, so the water is not flowing out of these anymore. And then we're going to be, like
cold's on, hot's on, it's plugged in, we can hit the power on
button. The only thing that we're missing here now is your gas. So we're going to flip that gas right there in line. There it goes. And I think we're kind of ready to rock and roll here. So okay. The unit's back on, and then it's important to write on these flow aid charts too when you do this. Again, they recommend 6 months to a year. These are supposed to last 20, 30 years, and I don't know what the cost is. I think I paid about $2,500 for this one. So
no, they want you to clean it out once a year to every year and a half. Okay. So if you got about 4 kids, you should probably be doing it every year. If you got 2 or 3 people in the house, maybe just do it once a year.
It is helpful too while we're talking. If you have a water softener, it definitely makes life a little bit easier. So we have a Culligan water softener. Here's the resin tank here, and runs the water through there and pulls out a lot of the minerals and stuff. So keeps this tank probably a little bit cleaner, I would imagine. So that's kind of a summary of how to do these tankless water heaters. They're really awesome. We love ours. We actually ended up installing a recirculating pump. So up under the master bedroom vanity, or excuse me, master bathroom vanity, we have a recirculating pump too, just because we're in a 2-story house. So we ended up rolling with one of these, and it's definitely helped because it is traveling a long distance.
So it gets a little hotter faster?
It does get a little bit hotter faster because it kind of keeps the hot water up there on a loop, essentially. So the wife will say it still takes a minute to get up there, but I think it's pretty decent. And we've noticed our bill has gone way down in using an instantaneous water heater. So if you're considering getting one, I recommend it. And the longevity of these is great, and I've never had to take a cold shower I didn't want to. So thanks again for watching our video. Drop any questions you have in the comments. We'll be happy to respond and troubleshoot you if you have any issues. Thanks again.